I don't like to do a whole lot of heavy processing in mixing. I think that it takes a lot of the soul away from the performance that was originally captured. But at the same time, there's a lot of instances, even when you could have probably tracked some of the most amazing stuff in your entire life, where just a little bit of sweetening is necessary. I knew that this song was all about the guitar part at the beginning and the vocal, and those needed to be the feature instruments. Those needed to be the focal point. So I started with the voice. Now, you'd think that 6 tracks is a lot, but when you look closely at it, her original vocal track was recorded with just 2 microphones. What we decided to do with our vocals is to give it a little bit more support and to give it a little bit more weight, we add in a double track. So this is no double track. I found my courage. And that's with the double track. Now, if we've done our job right, you won't be able to tell that it's there. Cinda herself will tell you she doesn't like reverb on vocals, but I happen to like a little bit of reverb on her vocals. I think, especially for this song, given the vibe, it's important to at least create the illusion of space. Now, obviously, being a guitar player, you would expect me to be married to my guitar sound, and I am married to my guitar sound. It's very important to me how my guitar, whether it be acoustic or whether it be electric, comes across to you as the listener. This was the first part that I came up with when we started writing the song, was this arpeggiated part that you're hearing. And that is then further anchored by a strummed acoustic guitar part. The arpeggiated part I knew had to be very articulate, and I knew it had to get the idea across that these notes are being played one at a time in constant succession. The EQ of the guitar is very articulate, it's very bright. Not particularly warm compared to, say, the strummed acoustic part, which was intended to sound darker, it was intended to sound warmer, and I think the best part is that when the two start playing the same thing in the chorus, they complement each other. When it comes to things that I'm not particularly familiar with mixing, like a lot of the hand percussion that it goes on in the acoustic version, I did very, very little to process them. You know, we recorded the sounds of these instruments and they're just so unique. I would never want to mess with that. Now, this was the first thing that Nick laid down, was the shaker, and he said that it would help him get in the groove, and I agree. But the one thing that's always difficult about a shaker is that it rests in the kind of sound spectrum in a very high range, so anything you really do to it is going to be really hard to notice. We put up 3 microphones for it. One by itself is very direct. Having these 2 microphones set kind of far back kind of breathed new life into the shaker. It made it a little bit more present, gave it a lot more of a shimmer and a shine, and definitely gave it some vibe. So I'm about to start mastering the mixes that we've made for There and Back Again, and mastering is a very interesting process that is unlike any other process in the music making hierarchy. Sounds good, and compared to everything else that you hear on the scene today, you'll probably notice less volume, maybe a little less finesse, and that's where mastering comes in. Mastering's kind of the final step of the process. There's a couple points in the song where the mix gets dangerously close to the red zone, and the red zone is bad. What I'm doing is just a light compression to it to make sure that those points of the song are not so distracting.
It seems like such an impossible task for us to be able to possibly get a song in a film that's so big.
How is a band that has only a small fragment of the globe paying attention to them going to get the attention of this mega studio that's putting out this worldwide phenomenon?
But I kind of feel like that goes along with the journeys that they all take throughout The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and how these tasks seem so much larger than they are, the person is, to be able to do all of that themselves.
Well, the first thing I want someone to know who's coming to this song for the first time is that it's really all about heart.
I'm very proud of the work that we've done. I'm very proud of how it sounds, and I can't wait for, to hear what people think. I'm very proud of it, and I hope that you all enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it.
I don't have any connections, or we don't know any people, that work at major film companies or any of that, This notion of getting attention enough to get our song in the film, it seems absolutely crazy. That's kind of what's so exciting about it, because if you remember in The Return of the King, there's a bit when Gandalf and Pippin are talking, and Gandalf says, there never really was much hope, just a fool's hope. And I think that us getting the song in the film, it's a fool's hope. But that's what a cockeyed optimist is, isn't it? It may be just a fool's hope, but that is our hope, to have people love this song, and they love it so much that it ends up in the film as a testament to that notion of a fool's hope.